Join us for a full tour, exterior interior of the new Volkswagen Golf 8. Let's go! The basic exterior dimensions, they did not change here with the new generation, but you can see the Golf appears a little bit slimmer, a little bit sleeker also here in the hood, but then those accentuations here are a little bit stronger. Also the headlamps are slimmer than before and are more curved. Well, and indeed they start now from LED as standard, and optional you can get a matrix LED light, then with 2x22 LEDs for the special high beam function. The standard LED light will have a little bit different daytime running light, by the way, so you can also see them somewhat from the exterior. And the dynamic lighting function to activate a high beam or not, even for the basic LED, that one, by the way, can be activated also later on. And this is also one of the new strategies in general by all manufacturers, that some parts are, so to say, built in, but later can be activated by software. 4'28", 14'4", or 168 inches is the length of the new generation Golf, and that means about 3 centimeters longer than before, so the basic dimensions, they have remained the same. Those 3 centimeters are just a little bit overhang from the spoilers, and the wheelbase is exactly the same. So indeed, it is one of the rare cars that has been kept in the same length. I think it's also a good decision not to make those cars in the very segment longer and longer. At some point, it doesn't make sense anymore. The side profile shape is, not too much changed than before. And of course, the Golf is a car that doesn't live from design revolutions throughout the generations. It's always step by step. Those ones here are the optional 18-inch wheels. I think they're a good choice. Not too big, not too small. Already look quite good. The style trim level is also indicated by the badge right here. So it's not the highest one, but also not the lowest one. And then we can see the chrome here on the lower window frame. I would have liked it when this would put also all over the vehicle in the, on the whole frame. In the rear, also quite classic design for the Golf. Those tail lamps, they have been redesigned, and they also have this new signature here. They also come standard with LED. And again, this new retro, rather flat-looking VW logo and a big Golf badging. In the lower part, are those fake exhaust tips? They are somewhat flat, and I'm not really sure. What's your take on that? So they somewhat suggest, I could be an exhaust design-wise, but maybe we cannot define them as fake exhaust tips anymore because it's just, rather subtle. The all-electric vehicle, that's the VW ID.3 now. So the e-Golf is gone. It will not come in the 8th generation as an all-electric car, but they will offer a lot of different engine concept choices. And that is starting with a normal turbo petrol engine, the TSI, then also with the e-TSI, the MHEV function, mild hybrid. Then you will get a PHEV, the plug-in hybrid, either with a weaker or then also with the GTE, with a stronger plug-in hybrid. Then the TDI, the turbo diesels, and CNG, the so-called TGIs. So different concepts available, and you will also again get the powerful versions, the GTI, the GTD, and also the Golf R. So that's the basic overview. Wait a minute. Where are my hydraulic struts gone with the Golf? Seriously, guys? Yeah, I know it saves some money and you won't open the hood yourself that often, but to me, a Golf has hydraulic struts. Those details is what sets the car apart. So a little bit disappointed as for this respect. However, you can see under the hood we have also proper paint. Not exactly at outside, but probably painted still. And also this, really thick dampening there for the engine. So why would you buy a new generation of a Golf? Yes, because it has a new key. So here, this is the new key. It looks a little bit more elegant. It's quite slim to open and close. But of course, keyless entry as always available. And interesting that there's now here this hole for the real lock. So if you need it at some point, you don't have to, pull the cover out. Interesting. Come on, one more, the door closing sound. Yes. Okay, no hydraulic struts, but at least I get this. Then, inside of the doors, there you also have soft touch. And then there are new decor elements. For example, this, well, it's not matte wood, but it looks like it, like matte dark wood somehow. And it has a matte feeling also to it. Very nicely done. New ambient light system where you can also change more colors. Then fabric surface here for your arms. Window levers, as we know it also, and big door pockets, so very well usable as for that. Oh, by the way, I have a second key, let's say, for you. This one is the one for the independent heating, so you can also have that one for a Golf. Then interior, this one is the new screen setup. Soon more to the details of the screens with all the different sizes that are available, but definitely all digital, no analog instruments anymore. New steering wheel with this new modern shape. We know it has been introduced a style with the T-Cross. Also the Passat got it recently. And those ones are the optional Ergo Active seats. There will be different fabric seats available, of course, at the base, but those ones here, the optional ones, and beautifully done with Alcantara on the inside. Then you also have this wide quilted structure, and then fabric here on the inside and some contrast stitches. So this is a beautiful job for a seat, and also without harming any animals. Still high class in design, and also as for the haptics. So that one looks promising, but how is it when I get inside? This one here also has a comfort feature. So the seat at the moment is a little bit driven backward, and when I turn on the ignition and I would actually close the door, then the seat also goes a little bit forward, and then I get into my real seating position. Then we already know these features from higher luxury cars. It is somewhat a standard Golf position. Those seats here are especially comfortable indeed, so feeling very cozy in here. And the first impression is really it is more elaborate and more digitalized than before. Headroom with the 1.86 m or 6'1" is plenty. This one does not have the panoramic roof. There is one available, of course, and we will test it or compare it very soon, because we have a second vehicle for you here, as you've seen on location. And now to the part that has changed most, the new interior layout. First of all, top part of the dashboard is soft touch, and interesting design lines right there, also nice with the ambient lighting. Then again, this new decor element, which is, looking quite premium-like, so that's nice. And also those vents, they are drawn all horizontally. That's interesting. Hardly any physical buttons here in this area. Here you got some hotkeys, although, for example, to access the AC menu. On the right side, it would start with a smaller 8.25 inch. This one is the optional 10-inch screen. On the left side, always those 10.25 inch. It's standard, and the way it is here also at the moment. And the steering wheel can be also adjusted, of course. Like this. This is at the moment the manual. And again, this pretty neat design. Right side then for the steering wheel heating, or to change the view in the instruments, and also to browse through that. And on the left side then for the adaptive cruise control, which is again having those new functions as I told you earlier. Very interesting. So the GPS will look then like this, so a pretty clear display. And App Connect, you can connect Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and the Apple CarPlay will also be available wirelessly, but you have to be sure that you pick the right option, that you also get it. So those functions will not all be standard. You really have to check that out. Sound system, the optional one will be a 10-speaker Harman Kardon system, which gives you probably a better sound. I hope we can test it at a later stage than when we also drive the vehicle. So this basic layout, we've also seen something of that in the VW ID3. Has then more, a little bit Android style maybe, but but somehow timeless. But I'm not sure. What do you think? I think it also looks a little bit old school, you know, maybe also retro style, something like that, 90s or whatever. So I would have imagined something a little bit more modern or something. Then you can also use those hotkeys to get for assistance systems. Again, more elaborate assistance systems available for this one here. Blind spot monitor will also be available, of course. And then the climate unit can also be accessed with a hotkey. And a short look at the new head-up display, which is projected directly into the windscreen. Maybe if it's flickers or if it's not that sharp on camera, it is actually in real life definitely, and you will have the current speed, allowed speed, and also some assistance systems info. And this is how the Apple CarPlay integration looks like. So they use this part, and left side you can still jump to the home menu or press it here to go back to the Volkswagen menu or then back to the Apple CarPlay menu. And here you can also get then to the main menu back. Hey Volkswagen,
What can I do for you?
drive me to Berlin.
Please say the address or the line number.
So now it appears here. Here I can click to Berlin and it will be guide me right there. In the lower middle console there are two USB-C ports. Then below that there's an inductive charging platform, and also for bigger smartphones that works. Then I like that they didn't use too much black piano lacquer here in the lower part. This one is a matte surface. It also does not collect fingerprints. That's cool. Start stop engine button. And then this one here is the new 6-speed manual transmission. Nice sporty shifting lever. Also quite short ways to shift. Pretty crisp. But I think, yeah, it doesn't give me the best feeling as we recently had with the new Mazda CX-30. So Mazda with the manual gearboxes really know their stuff they're doing. But this one, of course, also nice. But just as a short comparison. Interesting to test this one here then while driving. And now let's step to the rear. Here at the inside of the doors, there is hardpack material. So yeah, I mean, for their compact model, and the Golf is premium meanwhile, I think we could also expect some soft touch at the inside of the doors on the rear. Or what's your take on that? But beautiful ambient light as well. Then you can see the same design if you have those optional seats for the rear seats. That's beautifully done with somewhat a single seat layout design. But how's the comfort and how's the space? Well, as you know, the wheelbase has not changed, and that means that the legroom also hasn't changed much. So it directly fits here for 4 tall adults. That's fine. Not more, not less. And yeah, I mean, doesn't change too much from the previous generation. You have those new pockets here at the back side of the seats. Those are interesting. And the comfort here is, again, also quite reasonable. Those rear cushions here, they are softer now. Oh, that's interesting. Cool. Very soft here in this case. This can also be an feature of the Ergo Active package. Wow. See you in half an hour or something. I'll take a nap now. Yeah, okay. I'll postpone that for later. Other than that, yeah, I mean, you also see like this sporty mold here. This is really cool. Very comfortable in the rear. Also, you flip the seats from here, of course. Then you can have those cup holders here. There's also a ski hatch available that you flip then actually from here. What about the trunk or the boot? Pick the expression you like best. Flipping the logo here, again, does it to open it. And here we go. It looks more or less the same than before. Some space underneath, also for replacement tire, of course. And we always like to show you some different colors. This one here is called lime yellow. And it is not the Kurkuma yellow we used to know, but I heard it's still also available. So what's your take on this color here? Looking at different perspectives also. And in this car we have the new optional DSG with a new shifting lever. And this one is shift by wire. That means there's no mechanical connection, just everything commands electronically. And that means it can be very small, just like it's really tiny then. One advantage is when you switch from R to D again and so on, there's a smooth transition and it goes faster to switch from reverse to D again when you're going back and forth, for example. And this setup then also has a different start-stop engine button, which is integrated then in this small console. And now to our conclusion for today with the all-new Volkswagen Golf. the Mark 8. Exterior design, as usual, rather evolution than revolution. That's also quite common for a Golf generation change. It looks a little bit sleeker than before, and the basic dimensions did not change. The same then also goes for the interior, where also the dimensions did not really change. But, and that's probably the best thing to me as a first impression, especially here for those optional ergo comfort seats, the comfort of the seats has been improved. So both front and in the rear, you feel a little bit more cozy and a little bit more comfortable than before. So this, I think, a very good upgrade as for the everyday capabilities of this vehicle. The biggest change, of course, as for the digitalizations in the cockpit. So you have more screens, more functionalities, more connectivity, and so on. I'm not quite sure yet about the software visualization. I think that looked even a little bit more premium, high class in the previous generation. Maybe it's also just, matter of taste. Of course, we will find out more when we then later on can test it and also, play out from scenarios and so on, test more about the voice activation and so on. But of course, you will have more possibilities and, more stuff you can actually experience with that system. As for this aspect, also again, there will be some things you can later upgrade. So, over the air upgrade, so to say, on demand. So the hardware will in most cases then be the same, but later on you can add some more functionalities that maybe the initial buyer of the car did not go for. As I said also initially in this review, this definitely has some advantages and also disadvantages, so it's just a matter of perspective. Technology-wise, definitely the MHEV engines will be interesting. So far, our experience with mild hybrid engines is that they, score quite well on paper, but in reality, not so much is happening. So really looking forward how that one plays out. And also, told you earlier, the DSG will be connected to those MHEV systems, and the DSG is now shift by wire. That means there is the electronic command. Therefore, also the DSG shifting lever will be smaller. That's also one of the interesting upgrades. So now looking really forward to drive the Golf again. And overall, it's a Golf. You get actually what you know, and that's also one of the main reasons why people go for the Golf, not because it's super new, exciting on the exterior and there's revolution here and there. It's because it's just a Golf. That's again also the conclusion for today. Prices, meanwhile it's a premium vehicle and this will also not change. They won't make it cheaper for sure. So that's the thing. It's still bought in methods, but it's not a cheap vehicle, especially also not in this very segment. But then again, you also get a nice quality. Even if I don't have hydraulic struts and even if I don't have soft touch at the rear doors, there's still a lot of features. For example, also this new interior design, where you also have a very good premium atmosphere, where you then feel like being in a segment above. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Now looking forward to your comments to the all-new Volkswagen Golf. Really a lot to discuss, and also see you next time.